How badly did I mess that up?
I mean, there were still 20 seconds on the countdown, but that's okay. We're just ready to get started.
We're just ready to get started. Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, August 15th. With me in the studio, Rachelle Ray of RMR Consulting, the Chief Baking Officer at Proposal Industry Experts. I'm Ben Klein, owner of Geek Proposals, and more importantly, the Chief Recipe Officer at Proposal Industry Experts. And it is our Thursday temperature check right after our major conference, RFWin 2024. I know, right? It feels like a week. It feels like a week.
It feels like more than a week.
It feels like more
Feels
than
like RFWin was like 2 months ago already.
yeah.
I've been watching replays this morning, so
Oh, have
very
you? Any insights
yeah.
from the place?
I got to catch up on I've only gotten to watch a couple, but I got
Okay.
to catch up on Steven Alvarez's uh, Photoshop for Proposal Pros, and I learned a bunch because Photoshop is not one of the Adobe programs that I'm really good at.
Oh,
So we'll be making my headshots so much better. Thank you, Stephen, for that.
oh, really? Like, is this
Yeah.
when you say make them better? Like, is this cropping and good like data processing, or is this like a glow up? Like,
Oh, he glow up probably. He had like all these great tips for like getting rid of like hotspots and brightness and like balancing things out so you still look natural.
okay,
Like we're not going for like auto face tuned, right? But like better.
fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Kathleen says, I'm loving all the positive feedback on LinkedIn. Really looking forward to watching replays for the sessions I missed. Perfect. Heard from many that Stevens was really good. Great. Well, now it's something for me to watch. I, of course, got stuck on the recipes track. And when I say stuck, it was actually really, really good. We had a lot of good conversations and everything like that. But I am looking, like I only got to step out into the consultants track once during the period. And so I'm really looking forward to going to the baker's track if I can. Because human management and personal management is a real challenge for me. So, yeah. Anyways, so thanks, Kathleen and Beth. And yeah, the recordings should be up. There was a little bit of a glitch with getting them live, but hopefully that's ready now. All right. So we only really have like 2 major agenda items, I think, for today's talk. Put in the chat though if you need us to address something else. Obviously, we're going to address the email that went out yesterday from Ryn, and then of course. After that, we are going to just talk about the stuff that we are going to be doing over the course of the year. We teased this out during the founders presentation at the conference, but we'll just reiterate it here to confirm everything in the wake of everything. All right. So yeah. Anyways, yesterday, if you are in our community, you probably saw Ryn's message go out. Ryn is exiting from Pi, and yeah, it's probably for the best. We had some discussion on it, and it I think there was a little bit of a mix up on how we were going to communicate and also how we were going to like handle the departure. But anyways, it's done now, so we're moving ahead. But I think just to like take it back a step, when Ryn and I met to like form Proposal Industry Experts, we had this idea of building an ethical company, and we didn't want it to be based on volunteers, so we wanted it to be a for-profit company because we thought that we would be able to help the community more by doing so. We thought that by having like revenue come in, we wouldn't be beholden on like really rich sponsors or like volunteers to like build really innovative stuff for the proposal space, and we would have more freedom to kind of do the things that we thought were good for the community. Anyways, and I was under the impression that we had always kind of set out that this is like 2 5-year plans. It's like one to get to the first phase of Pi, and then a second 5-year plan to get to the next phase of Pi, kind of thing. And we're sort of in year 2 of that first 5 years. And you know, like business is like a relationship, right? Like you start it, you have the best of intentions and everything like that, and then over time, like stuff in your personal life changes, stuff in your real world changes, and the needs that you have maybe change, and maybe the business can adapt to you and maybe it can't. And in this case, it looks like we couldn't adapt. Like we had to look at kind of the interests of our community, the interest of what we wanted to do. And honestly, like when you're trying to build like an ethical, transparent, accessible community, you don't get to like, move fast and break stuff as much, right? Like we thank you so much for your patience, because we do break stuff. And you're also wonderful about helping us through it. But ultimately, we don't like pull the wool over your eyes. Like we don't sell something that we don't have. We don't, if you make us aware of something, like we're happy to give full refunds and everything like that. Like that's kind of where we're at, right? We are still in the business formation thing of like trying to like figure out how to generate enough revenue to like support all of you, because some of the education products that we want to come out with this year are probably going to cost several thousands of dollars to make, between like talent agreements and like just the course curriculum research and everything else. So at some point we need to figure out how to pay for those. So yeah, I don't know, Rachelle, I'm kind of going off, but do you have any comments?
No, I did want to apologize to the community for the messaging. I've gotten a few comments that it was very confusing, and that was not our intent. Ben and I are very much committed to continuing to grow the community, to support all of our bakers and our diners who kind of hang out quietly. We like diners better than lurkers, but you know who you are. Our goal is and has always been and will continue to be to support you in whatever way we can. We are committed to radically revolutionizing the proposal industry for good. And as Ben said, like there are a couple of ways to do that, and we're maybe taking the slow and steady route. But again, your trust, your patience right now while we're figuring out what that looks like in this new chapter is greatly appreciated. But you are always like, our community is always the first and most important thing to us. Like you people are what I care about. So please, if anything during this time you need to chat through or you're confused by, just reach out to us, and we will try and make this transition as smooth as possible for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Rachelle. Yeah. Anyways, all right. So we wish them the best. Honestly, we wouldn't be where we are at in a community without their help and their support through this process. I've always said that they're like the engine of this organization, and so now we're going to have to kind of retool a little bit and work out how we run differently. So with that in mind, though, we want to talk about what Pi will be doing. So we teased this out at the founder session inside RF Wind 2024, but it bears going over again. So the first thing is we announced a partnership with Growth Ignition. So this is Jeremy Brin's organization out of the UK. They've been training ostensibly through the APNP model, but Jeremy has his own kind of twist on training and what he would like to do to kind of modernize that. And honestly, we are looking at that because we've been in talks with Jeremy, and he has a lot of ideas for kind of how we want to shape education, and then combine that with, oh, you're on this side of me. Combine that with Rachelle's ideas already about like master classes and how we like cobble together a cert and everything like that. We are hoping to kind of use this initial piece to start bringing like more education resources to our membership. So yeah, and that's gonna kind of start October 1st. So we're gonna give ourselves a little bit of time to get all the legal stuff in place. But yeah, and then and the infrastructure in place, and then we're gonna be good to go. So yeah, and then a lot of you asked about the hackathon paper. Actually, do we have anyone in the audience who was at the hackathon? I'm just curious.
We have to.
We have to. It's possible. Anyway, so if you were part of the hackathon, the recordings should still be up for your sessions and everything like that. But again, as presented at RFWin 2024, Kimberly and Nora ran through their process of creating the white paper. What they use, the fact that they actually use AI tools to build an AI paper, how very meta. And yeah, so it has been submitted to us. We're in the process of reviewing it. There may be some revisions, but ultimately it is almost ready. And so realistically, we are kind of pushing that out to mid-October to get that in front of all the people who were actually at the hackathon. And then it'll be kind of distributed to a wider audience after that. So yeah, really looking forward to having that out. There have been some interesting insights inside that already. So yeah, good times. And then Rachelle, I believe you are working on RFP 101.
Yes, I'm working with Lauren Stizninski. I'm so sorry if I just said your name wrong. Oh my gosh, Lauren. One of our amazing Baker's Dozen. And I are working together on RFP 101. It is a highly requested masterclass that we get a lot. The intent is to have something short, sweet, quick that can get new members of your team up to speed on what an RFP is, how to read an RFP, how to kind of coordinate with your teams quickly. Or if you're a small business or a team of one who's just like teaching yourself, like that's how I started in this industry, you'll be able to access RFP 101 and within a couple of hours have your feet under you on how to tackle this insane thing we call proposal management. So we are working on that. Hopefully we'll have it out by the end of the year. And then additionally requested are industry specific 101s for my AEC friends. It's tricky to navigate the relationships in this industry, and I'm sure it's the same in tech and healthcare and legal. So we're looking at industry specific 101s so that even if you have a team member who is well versed in proposals, maybe they have changed career tracks, and so they're now in a new, like maybe they went to tech and they don't know anything about the tech environment, they can take one of our 101s to get up to speed on what's different in that industry compared to where they came from. So it's a lot of like foundational knowledge that we're going to be building up in the next year.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it actually. Like we've had this request for a while, and honestly, we'll probably morph it a little bit more before it's actually released. Like there's an audience of like new people, but there's also an audience of individuals who are just peripherally involved in the RFP process that might be served by like having this tool available for you. Anyways, so we'll let you know how that's going to be distributed. But yeah, there are going to be some options for you, especially among the paid members. And then we announced at the conference that the mentorship program was up and running. And I know that over the weekend you said that people have gone live and are already talking to each other.
Oh, I love it. So our mentorship pairings officially went out this week. We've started scheduling our monthly check-ins, which are based around a specific topic, based on the things that this particular cohort wanted to learn. So it's like a super customized mentorship program where you get access to a specific mentor and a mentee, and then you have access to the collective knowledge of the entire cohort. So it's a little bit different than your typical like one-to-one mentorship program. But yes, that has been like the most delightful thing in my inbox this week is just seeing all of my mentors and mentees starting to meet each other and kick off their 5-month journey together. And this is our pilot program for this. We are going to take the feedback from this mentorship program and then start rolling out new cohorts, hopefully over the next couple of years as well. This would like to be a recurring thing. I like to keep them small so that we can make sure everybody gets the attention that they need. But don't worry, you will have your chance to join a Pi mentorship program. And yeah, it's going
So
really well.
without teasers, can I ask, like, do they have like exercises? Are there tasks? Are there like areas of focus? Like, I'm curious how you guide them through the 5 months.
Yeah, so for the one-to-ones, I gave kind of here's ways that you can interact with each other. I'm going to leave that up to you because every mentor mentee pair is different. For the monthlies, I'm going to be sending out a list of resources like webinars, articles, books, things around the specific topic. And then we'll have kind of like group exercises to go through. So there'll be like one of our sessions is about building your professional network. And so we're going to kind of do like an elevator pitch type thing. Like how do you cold talk to someone on LinkedIn? Right. So we'll do a little exercise around like crafting that message and what that might look like. And then we'll open it up to discussion and we'll have all these like fun resources that you can read and discuss. And yeah, it's going to be very structured.
Sounds good. I like it. I like it. I have had 3 female mentors in my time as a proposal manager. All of them have served me well and have taught me a lot. And honestly, like I feel like without academics, that's the only way to like learn this role, right? Is
Absolutely. Absolutely. I really appreciate that some of our mentees have like 10 years of experience and they're like, I need someone to guide me. I'm like, absolutely.
okay.
Everyone at any stage in your career needs a mentor. So we have a really delightful blend of mentor mentees in our
Fair. All right. Something else we teased out at the conference was where to house all of this education that Rachelle is working on. And so we have got a platform. We're going to be running the Baker's Dozen through it to test it. That got a little bit delayed for reasons. Anyways, but yeah, we're going to start sending those wonderful Baker's Dozen through to kind of figure out, and we're going to be looking at like experimenting with different learning modalities, different options for education receipt. Again, going back to like one of our core values of accessibility, we want to try to make sure that like we're reaching all of our audience. Initially, we had the 7 Taps platform, which was delivering that small little the like kind of cardish mobile education. So we're going to try some different options there to see if we can serve you better and provide more interesting stuff for you to learn from. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'm not looking forward to like. I really need to hire a designer. You know what I need? I need someone in the pie community who has a good eye for aesthetics. I will pay you to color our environment because they give you 4 accents that you can apply to the environment, and like I can't come up with a combination of colors that doesn't look hideous. So I
Uh,
need,
we have some amazing designers in the community, so step on up.
right. I feel like either I'll reach out to Roxanne at some point and just be like, Roxanne, fix me. Like someone someone save me because Pi has 24 colors in our palette when we originally did our brand colors, and I cannot collect, or I cannot make 4 of those work together properly. So
Yeah, the pie palette is very complicated.
but
For accessibility purposes, I understand why we have so many colors,
yeah,
but it's a
yeah.
lot.
It was funny. I remember when we were talking about accessibility, I was like, well, how close are we to WCAG, which is American with Disabilities? Like it's the web access guidelines. So anyways, the web content access guidelines. So anyways, our designer came back and said, yeah, I picked it for like high contrast. Like all of your colors are based on being able to see, because it turns out like, so who was it whose presentation was it that was explaining that like 1 in 5 men or 1 in 10 men is colorblind. I think that was on my track.
I was gonna say that was definitely not my track.
Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, of course. So every time I use like green red graphics or anything like that, I am basically like throwing out any ability that they have to like distinguish anything properly. So
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
it's wild.
So anyways, stuff to think about. So yeah, we're working on that, but I will reach out and find a designer and make that environment pretty for everyone. All right.
I
So
appreciate Kathleen's comment here on make it pretty. We do want to make it pretty this time.
we do want to make it pretty. I think when we did it, it was uh, Pi was going to be somewhere between like unicorns and Sirius. So that's the color
That's
palette.
a broad.
Uh, we gave that designer a lot of leeway. All right. Moving on from there, the next piece on our piece, or sorry, the next thing is that we want to do some paid member meetups, or paid member like login sessions and stuff like that. Anyways, we're still working on the details of this. I have a couple ideas. Rachelle has much more well-formed ideas than I do.
And what Ben means by that is that the other day I was kind of lonely in my office space, and I thought, what would be really nice is if we did like a co-working session for all of my wonderful teams of one or work from home buddies who want to just pop in on a pie work session. and we'll just jam together, like in peace and silence, but we'll be together in peace and silence.
Yeah,
And that seemed to go over really well when we teased it at our win. So
perfect.
possible co-working sessions coming up.
Yeah, and I would like that too, honestly, because like during the day, I sometimes have a lot of trouble focusing. Like, it's hard to see in this fantastic office. By the way, did you see that I got rid of my couch? I just want to explain. The couch is gone.
The couch is gone.
It went to a good home. It went to a good
Okay.
home. Yeah. I feel like I wasn't super helpful with them at the end, but the couch is gone. Anyways, but what I'm saying is, there is over here just behind me. There is a full pull out sofa that turns into a bed and stuff like that. And there's a real danger, like midday, if I'm just not feeling it with my workplace stuff like that, that I might just go over there, or that I'll just stare at my computer screen for like an hour and not really accomplish anything. And I realize that some of that is burnout and tiredness, and some of that is just like me not willing to apply myself. So yeah.
Yeah, the accountability sometimes gets to me. Like nobody's gonna know. I just moved a couch into my office this weekend.
Oh,
You moved one out, I moved one in. And yeah, it's sitting right here behind my computer. And I'm like, I could just go take a little nap. It would be great. Just recharge, but that's dangerous. That's so dangerous.
fair, fair.
I don't take 15-minute naps. That's why it's dangerous for me. I'm like a 2-hour minimum napper, which is like not even napping.
I'm told that's super unhealthy for you to like take like
I
super long naps in the midday. Like it messes up with your circadian rhythm or something like that. So
It really does. That's why it's dangerous. That's why I try so hard not to nap, and it's so hard not to.
yeah, fair, fair. But with that in mind, then we also have the Baker's Dozen coming on board, right? So we are transitioning out a good portion of our Baker's Dozen.
Yeah, we have 8 fresh faces coming in. We announced them all at the conference. I will be making a big, big splash about them in the community shortly. I've been just a little bit behind this week. My bad.
Yeah,
They're amazing. Come say hello to them. We are really excited for the new perspectives that are coming in and the amazing things that they're about to do. And we are hoping to get them on temp checks in the near future, so you'll get a better introduction to who each of our customer advisory board members are.
yeah, actually, and yeah, that's a heads up. So we would like to spice up the temperature checks a little bit more with a more regular rotation of some guest stars and everything like that. So with that in mind, we are going to be using the Baker's Dozen to introduce to you these wonderful minds that help guide the pie community. And yeah, that way you get exposure to them, and you can reach out to them if you want something addressed at pie. Yeah, and we can bring it up in our on our regular sessions. So what is this? So Kathleen says, was the accessibility colorblindness compliance session Cranes? Love their session. I did not see Crane session, so if it was, then there were 2 people talking about color blindness at our
We
session.
just rewatched that session this morning, and I don't remember Crane talking about color blindness, but their session was on accessible design, so it makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
Uh, I feel like that might have been in Roxy's as well. She was talking about,
Oh, in the white space presentation,
yeah,
like don't fear the white spaces. Yeah, I did like that. And Rox, what I loved about that session, honestly, was that it's clear that there were a fair number of InDesign nerds in the audience, because immediately they're like talking about like specific terms, which I assume are specific to InDesign. And Roxy's just like, yeah, off the cuff. Okay, is this what you mean? Yeah, this is some stuff that you like. It's clear that like Roxy is so old hand at this stuff that it's just like, whatever. Like
that's
here's
amazing. I haven't gotten to that replay yet, but after 2023's RPG resumes, I'm very much looking forward to Roxanne's session.
we mentioned that at the beginning of the session because, of course, RPG Resumes was one of the most attended in 2023. And Roxy was like, it kind of like is hard because it's setting up like this big thing for me to like this session has to be as good as that, right? Sort of thing.
And I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was amazing.
It was very good. It was very good. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. All right. So that's the Baker's Dozen. But anyways, we will be meeting with them. We have a number of things to talk to them about, things that we want around the industry certification, maybe the changing direction of AI, maybe kind of this sort of groundswell. It's interesting. Like globally, we're seeing some interesting behaviors among proposal shops. In the UK, we see a lot of people kind of like doing some layoffs, but then also hiring contract workers or going to like proposal shops to kind of like backfill. Meanwhile, there are other places, like it seems like the States is doing a lot of hiring in the proposal world, right? So everyone's kind of addressing talent differently this time. So it would be great. I'm looking forward to like getting the baker's dozen in a room and kind of picking their brain a little bit on what they think is happening. So that maybe we can advise our membership better on how to manage their career trajectory. So yeah, stuff, our good old team.
Yes.
Our good old team. Anyways, with that in mind, though, and going back to Ryn's departure briefly, we did have on the blueprint that we were going to try to do a live session in Baltimore, Maryland. Obviously, that one is probably off now. I think we can call it dead. But we will certainly try to get, like, again, our goal with the live sessions is or in-person sessions is this: because we want this community to always be inclusive and always be accessible. We shy away from like major events where not everyone can attend. It's why we do RFWin virtually. But at the same time, we know that there's value in people meeting face-to-face and people having conversations. And so the goal would be that we don't have anything within that session that is universal for all of Pi. It would be something very specific. And also, like, if at all possible, we will try to make it accessible or log-inable from people who can't like travel the distance or get to someplace. But again, the goal is that Pi is moving towards having live sessions. We're starting to mature as an organization so that we have enough ability to like put some of these things on. So yeah, I know that we've kind of like teased it out several times. I know that I said Mark was going to do one. I said Kevin was going to do one. And that's on me because I never gave them the resources to fulfill that. And we didn't really have the idea fleshed out. Anyways, but we're working on that and we'll get there for you pretty soon. All right. It's 11:27. I have how many bids? Actually, I think I'm okay. Almost all my bids got extended to next Friday.
Lucky you.
Yeah, so I had 3 for tomorrow, and now I think I just have the 1, and then I have kind of 6 next week. So, yeah, stuff.
I have whittled down from like 9 to 2.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to be at 0 after tomorrow, and then I got a whole barrage of emails today, so we're back up to 4 on Monday, but that's okay. I had this brief moment where I thought, like, I have no proposals. What do I do? This is amazing.
You can.
Nope. The reality of a proposal manager, that's just never, it's a pipe dream.
It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen.
It's like inbox 0. It's unattainable.
Yeah. Kathleen saying that they're in the Baltimore area, they can assist. All right, honestly, we'll keep that in mind. When we have our Baker's Dozen meeting, we'll definitely talk about that because we have some thoughts and some ideas. But yeah, it might not be this quarter. We'll figure it out. All right. Anyways, with that in mind, have an absolutely fabulous weekend. It's amazing out there. Hopefully you're not working. Hopefully you're taking time for yourself. Hopefully you're doing all the things. Any last thoughts, Rachelle?
No. Yeah. You summed that up perfectly. My sign off was going to be take care of yourselves, y'all.
Oh, that's what we need though. Like we need like clippy little lines that like occur at the end of everyone, right? Or something like that. Yeah, like little tag.
We're proposal writers. We can think of something.
We can work on it. All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. And y'all have a great weekend. Bye.